magbayanihan. Mga delegado at panauhing, let us all welcome all of the delegates and all the officers, members of the CIA Bayanihan. And thank you, dear delegates. By virtue of the power bestowed on me by the Articles of Incorporation and bylaws of the CIA, I hereby declared that the Second National General Assembly is officially open and now called into order. Lubos po ang aking kagalakan pagkat muli tayong nakikita sa araw nito. Isang napakahalagang pagtitipon bilang isang ikalawang pambansang asembleya para pagpasyahan ang amendment of our Articles of Incorporation and bylaws at mga kinakailangang resolusyon. Kaya't ngayon pa lang ay taos puso kong nagpapasalamat sa lahat ng mga delegado na narito ngayon sa inyong mga sakripisyo at paglalaan ng sariling resources para makadalo sa ating asembleya. Sa ating pagpapatuloy, may I call the National Secretary, Mr. Benjamin Amba, to please do the roll call of the delegates.
Thank you very much, Mr. President. Dear delegates from different island regions, kapag tinawag ko po ang inyong pangalan o lugar, mangyaring tumayo at manatiling nakatayo. Mga delegado sa bawat rehiyon sa Island of Luzon, pakitayo po. Mga delegado mula sa pambunsong punong rehiyon o National Capital Region. Pakitayo po lahat ang mula sa National Capital Region. Mga delegado sa bawat rehiyon sa Island of Visayas. Mga delegado sa bawat rehiyon sa Island of Mindanao. Mga delegado at kinatawan sa ibang bansa. Mr. President, I have an honor to present to you before the Second National General Assembly the total of 2,000 official delegates representing majority from the different regions and can be considered a quorum.
Thank you, Mr. Secretary. And considering that this assembly representing majority based on the principles of equitable and proportionate representation, I hereby declared that this assembly is in quorum. Thank you, delegates, and please be seated. Before we finally proceed to our agenda, let me report to you about the status of the organization since it was created and activated in 2019 from the province of Ilocos Sur, and nationwide today we have already 25,000 members and still counting. We have already organized regional chapters in Region 1, Region 2, Region 3, Region 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 to include CAR, BARM, NCR, and the new created region, Negros Island Province or region. Today, we have also created about 67 provincial chapters and municipal chapters. We have conducted so many community services in the whole country by the different chapters. And I would like to inform you in advance that the CI Bayanihan was once again given the commendation and award as one of the most outstanding NGO of the year by the Philippine National Police, to be awarded on October 11, 2024. So that is my advance report to you. Dahil sa mga ginagawa ninyong pagtulong sa PNP, sa ating komunidad from Region 1 to Region 13, tayo po ay pinarangalan at piniling Most Outstanding PNP Accredited NGO of the Year by the PNP Camp Crame. The next business in order is the presentation and approval of the amended articles of incorporation and bylaws. Again, may I request the committee chairman of the committee to review and amendments of the CI articles and bylaws. The chairman is our VP, Noel Gallardo. You're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. President. Good afternoon, dear delegates of this assembly. After the appropriate processes has been conducted, including the pre-General Assembly on September 22, I have an honor to present to you in this assembly the three major amendments in our articles of incorporation, namely, number one additional purpose. Number two, the change of principal office address from Bigan, Ilocos Sur to Quezon City National Capital Region. And number three, the number of Board of Trustees from 7 to 15. Hence, the entire article consisting of more or less 9 pages with 3 major amendments is now moving for the approval in this assembly. So I move, Mr. President.
There are 3 motions. One is the one additional purpose. Second, the change of principal office address from Vigan to Quezon City NCR. And also, number 3 is the number of Board of Trustees from 7 to 15. Are there any second? General Puyaw is hereby acknowledged and duly seconded. Are there objections, comments, suggestions, discussions? I hear none. Then, the motion for the approval of the said article and the change of address is hereby approved. Next. Continue. Mr. Chairman.
Okay, thank you very much, Mr. President. The pre-General Assembly on September 22, it was discussed and unanimously approved the amended and/or revised CIA bylaws consisting of 19 pages with 12 articles, 70 sections, and more than 102 subsections. And therefore, it is imperative in this assembly that the said amended and/or revised CIA bylaws be approved or adopted. So I move, Mr. President.
There is a motion to amend the CI bylaws. Duly seconded by Board Member Marzan and Board Member Puyaw. Anybody objecting? Discussion? I hear none. The motion is hereby approved. Continue. Chairman of the Committee on Revision of Amendments.
Thank you, Mr. President. During the pre-General Assembly on September 22, it was discussed and approved the 2 proposed resolutions. the first General Assembly Resolution number 2024-01 entitled "A Resolution Authorizing the National Executive Committee and the National President to undertake necessary actions for the processes and approval of the amended articles of bylaws of CIA with the Securities and Exchange Commission and for other purposes." So I move, Mr. President.
There is a resolution authorizing the National Executive Committee and National President to undertake necessary actions for the processes and approval of the amended articles and bylaws of the CIA with the Securities Exchange Commission. Anybody seconding? Duly seconded. Then the resolution is hereby approved. Continue, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Mr. President. And dear colleagues, the second General Assembly Resolution number 2024-02 that are subject for approval is entitled "A Resolution Authorizing the Board of Trustees and the National Executive Committee to formulate and approve the general plans, programs, and projects of the CIA and for other purposes." So I move, Mr. President.
There's a motion for the approval of the resolution authorizing the Board of Trustees and the National Executive Committee to formulate and approve the general plans, programs, and projects for the CIA. Anybody seconding? Duly seconded. The resolution is hereby approved.
That's all, Mr. President. Dear delegates, thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Committee Chairman. The next business in order is the presentation and confirmation of the selected Board of Trustees. May I call and designate the Master of Ceremony to call one by one and acknowledge the 15 Board of Trustees of the CIA.
Ladies and gentlemen, our list of Board of Trustees. First will be Mr. or President, National President Efren A. Raffanan Sr. Let's give them a big round of applause, please. We have next Mr. Ruben P. Marsan. Next we have Mr. Romeo M. Santa Isabel. We have Ms. Annie Lynn Marzan. We have Rodia Rose E. Pineda. We have Mr. Benjamin G. Amba. We have Mr. Noel N. Banda. We have Miss Evelyn Gurley. We have Noel I. Gallardo. We have Editha C. Sotomayor. Next we have Miguel T. Puyao Jr. We have number 14, Liza A. Ababa. And last but not the least is Caroline T. Byrne. Ladies and gentlemen, your Board of Trustees.
It's my honor to present to you the 15 Board of Trustees, your new Board of Trustees for the next 3 years. Maraming salamat po and palakpak po sa kanila. These are your Board of Trustees.
Picture muna tayo. Sandali lang.
Let's have a quick photo op with press.
Thank you and congratulations to the new members of the Board of Trustees. Thank you, thank you. Maraming salamat.
Ladies and gentlemen, your National Executive Committee members. First is our National President, Efren A. Rafanan Sr., followed by National Vice President for Administrative, Benjamin G. Amba. We have our National Vice President for Human Resources, Rodia Rose E. Pineda. We have our National Vice President for Internal Affairs, Editha C. Sotomayor. We have our National Vice President for External Affairs, Romer N. Bandang. We have our National Vice President for Bayanihan Broadcast Media, Benito Benny Malikdem Jr. We have our National Vice President for Special Assistant to the President, Noel N. Bandang. We have our National Vice President for Sectoral and Special Projects, Noel Gallardo. We have our National Vice President for Education and Training, Lisa C. Ababa. We have our National Vice President for Spiritual and Values Transformation, Ladislao P. Abilong Jr. National Vice President for Economical and Mythical, Emily T. Malilin. National Vice President for Social Welfare and Development, Raymond A. Prado. National Vice President for International, Demetrio R. Rafanan. National Secretary, Benjamin Amba. National Treasurer, Evelyn Gurley. National Auditor, Jane Sotomayor. Next, we have our Territorial Vice Presidents. Vice President for Luzon, Miguel T. Puyal Jr. Our Vice President for NCR, Nancy Bolina. Vice President for Visayas, Eduardo Astilla. And last but not the least, our Vice President for Mindanao, Antonio Arca. Ladies and gentlemen, your National Executive Committee members. Let's give them a big round of applause.
Fellow officers and members, ladies and gentlemen, I'm happy to present to you the members of the National Executive Council. Please give them a big round of applause and let us congratulate them.
Standby tayo sa ano.
Let's have a quick photo opportunity with press.
Thank you and congratulations to the members of the NEC. Thank you, Mr. Secretary, and considering that all business in order have been already tackled, what's the pleasure of the Assembly? Mr. Gallardo.
Mr. President, considering that there is no other agenda to be tackled in this assembly, I respectfully move for the adjournment of the Second National General Assembly.
There is a motion, Julie. Anybody seconded? Duly seconded to adjourn the assembly. Is there an objection? Hearing no objection, the motion is approved and the Second National General Assembly is officially adjourned until the next General Assembly. Thank you very much at mabuhay ang lahat ng mga delegado sa ating Assembleya, and congratulations to all the members of the board and the National Executive Council. Congratulations, maraming salamat po. Thank you. That ends our plenary session and we'll now go to the regular program. Maraming salamat po.